Da 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 da
These are the writings of the late Benjamin Marks as they were made public record in the case of the River Park murders. The writings were, however, not used as evidence. They were simply labeled as things found in the perpetrator's apartment. 4:29 a.m. I awoke from a dream unlike any that I've had before. Caked sweat rolls of deodorant were sticking to the fine hairs between my armpit, forcing me to smell the aftermath of my subconscious drifting. I looked down at my hand, which now seemed to have taken control of my body as it was gripped by sharp pains. Scratch marks coated on the back like fine hairs that have settled in sometime after my 12th birthday. I haven't slept this wildly since I was a child. Images of blood and hair are still fresh in my mind. Tonight, I dreamed of murder. 3:15 p.m. On my lunch break, I nodded off for a bit. I was so tired. Today, I could barely keep track of the time. Somehow, I awoke in the parking garage, screaming bloody murder from the passenger seat of my car. I instinctively put my hand to my neck and felt a fine trail of scratches there. I'm thinking of wearing mittens if this keeps up. It's rare for me to dream during the day, but then again, it's rare for me to walk around aimlessly in a sleep haze and not know how I ended up somewhere either. Good thing my boss overscheduled us and asked me to take a 2-hour lunch today. Yikes. 2:45 a.m. Had another really vivid dream. Realizing now that each dream is like an episodic bizarre fetish fancy starring a different girl. My back burning, likely from the pain of fresh wounds, and it's unnerving. These dreams are so intense that I'm actually physically harming myself. Despite how late it is, I called and scheduled an appointment with Dr. Thomas for tomorrow. His automatic messaging service proved it, and now all I have to do is come up with an excuse to call in after work. Maybe just talking about everything will set my mind at ease. I really don't want to awkwardly buy another bottle of ointment. 9:30 p.m. Today was hell. I had another horrible nightmare, full of bloody terror and gore. A woman screamed and screamed as the pipe came down hard and angry against her face. Strike. Again. Strike. I felt like it was an omen. Just finished giving my statement to the police about this afternoon. Dr. Thomas was found beaten to death in his office. I nearly fainted. Seems I was the first one to discover his body. I haven't been that close to death since Dad died in the accident a few months back. Somehow his brake line was cut and he crashed into a local coffee shop and blew up, causing a fire. I still can't stomach the smell of coffee. I've got to tell Mom. Her, Dad, and Thomas were good friends. She'll want to hear it from me before anyone else. I'll head there first thing in the morning. God, this was so awful. I wonder if he was beaten with a pipe as well. 1:30 p.m. My hands are shaking as I'm writing this. I can't believe what my mother just told me. How could she keep this from me? How could her and Dad? I can't believe it. I have a twin brother named Sebastian. Given up for adoption and put into foster care around my teens. God, how I've always wanted a brother. I've resolved to find him. I wonder what he's like. Mom said growing up we were really close. Even as babies, it's like we knew what the other one was thinking. She cried as she told me about him. She just kept saying that they just couldn't. I don't know what she meant, but I was so infuriated I hung up the phone. Good old internet will help me out with this one. I could use something positive, focus my energy on. 2:01 a.m. I'm scared. I know that I've been having these nightmares for a while. Thing is, I'm not sure they're nightmares anymore. Tonight I saw the girls, all of them, in some chamber or basement stacked on top of each other like someone had made a tossed salad of human corpses. Then came the beating. Such furious anger for hours. I remember the feeling that it made me tired just watching it as the bodies turned slowly in the pussy orange soft dumplings, almost unrecognizable as human. I noticed the flickering firelight last, and the liquid that must have been gasoline flew onto a dozen or so bodies before they were set ablaze. What scared me, though, was the mad dash up the stairs, followed by the great reveal in the mirror past the door. Right there in the reflection was my face, but weird and stubbled, where mine was always clean-shaven. It was me, but wild and frantic, until for a moment, it was like I recognized that I recognized myself. I know that this doesn't make any sense, but that smile... I'll have to call Mom in the morning. I'm not sure why or what I'm expecting, but I'm scared. Like I'm actually scared. I don't think I'll be getting any more sleep tonight, but a reprieve from the nightmares will be enough. This was last written 2 hours before Benjamin Mark's death. Recovered from his burned apartment building. Most of it was illegible, but the police were heard saying that there were bloody thumbprints on some of the pages as if the journal was read as the victim was near death. 2 days later, Benjamin Marks was printed as the suspect in the River Park murders, to which 12 women were victims of violent beatings, and their bodies were discovered burned and laid in compromising positions. Police also believe that there were 3 male victims, including Dr. Edward Thomas, and that it's possible that Benjamin had an accomplice. The case is still unsolved. Thank you for tuning into another episode of D.L. Holmes Presents. Night Terrors is from More Seemingly Strange and Unusual Tales, the second book in the Seemingly Strange and Unusual Tales series, co-authored by Tiffany Pennywell and myself. You can pick it up on Kindle and on paperback on Amazon.com. Again, remember to like and subscribe, follow the links below to keep up with my comings and goings, and you can always support the channel through coffee. And I'll see you all next week for another episode of D.L. Holmes Presents.